With the introduction of Breeze as the first uniquely open map in the current Valorant map pool, and after witnessing Sentinels absolutely style on Cloud9 with a double controller composition in the grand finals of the recent Champions Tour, there's been a burning question that needs an answer. Is the double controller meta finally here? What's going on, ProGuides fam? I'm Kangas, and I don't know about you, but Valorant has been on fire lately with all these crazy controller changes and the recent introduction of Breeze. What's more, the Sentinels destroying Cloud9 with a double controller composition of Viper and Astra unbind was an absolute pleasure to watch, unless you're a Cloud9 fan. The Sentinels ironically destroying their opposition without a Sentinel makes me wonder, has the era of double controllers arrived? Personally, I think so. That's why today we'll be covering what we think are some of the biggest reasons why the controllers have found a second spot on team comps on some maps, and why this trend might continue for other maps as the Valorant meta develops. Speaking of Sentinels, their newest addition, TenZ, has been an explosive and exciting player to watch as he and the rest of his team dominated the Champions Tour. That's why we're just as hyped and excited to announce that TenZ has partnered with us at ProGuides.com to release a course detailing all the gameplay fundamentals and the championship mindset to reach the level of play that he and Sentinels have given us the pleasure of witnessing. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity to learn from the best of the best, so come check out our website, ProGuides.com, to get started on your road to the top. Alright, so starting off with one of the biggest reasons that double controllers have made a debut lately is Astra as an agent. Ever since her release, various pros have stated that her potential is super high and that her kit is extremely powerful. In fact, TSM Hayes even tweeted out recently saying that Astra hurts the game, as her ability set is too versatile and offers little to no counterplay. Her stars were essentially a more versatile and traceless version of Omen Smokes, and she has many more in the start of the round to work with. Because her kit also facilitates holding down a rush with her gravity well, as well as her Nova Pulse, she could function as a pseudo sentinel as well, holding down sites with powerful utility and also delaying pushes for rotates to arrive. Because her kit is so versatile and powerful for attacker and defender side, with her stars always having use unlike other sentinels like Cypher lacking attack-oriented utility, she is still a powerful controller pick that does more than what a controller normally is meant to do. At the same time, she flexes as a sentinel when necessary to dominate rushes and provide for her team many more options for adaptation and game plans. As such, we've seen the Sentinels field Astra in every match of their grand finals versus Cloud9. Yep, this only solves the question of who the best controller is. So why are we seeing two controllers being fielded in some cases? And this leads us to the buffs of Viper, which has seen her shoot up the ranks in terms of being an offensive controller. While her utility is powerful, she's always struggled with the fact that her ability set was a little too weak to really control the areas that she tried to hold. Teams would often just circumvent her easily by either not playing around her side of the map, or just simply burst right through when she was weak. Her ability set just didn't have the capabilities to enforce that strict level of control that her concept was originally designed for. What's more, her abilities were not suitable for supportive controlling, as she only had one smoke that teammates couldn't even play around too much due to the damage. She lacked the versatility to make different adaptations in the mid-round like other controllers could, which is why she never really took the coveted controller spot from agents like Omen and Brimstone. However, after the buffs to her abilities on patch 2.07, her offensive and defensive capabilities were massively increased, leading to her also becoming capable of taking on a pseudo-sentinel role. With buffs making her toxins deal immediate damage, her snakebite dealing more damage, and her ultimate ability becoming even more oppressive to fight against, Viper got the power boost that she needed to make a comeback into contention for viability. Admittedly, her ability set did not favor the supportive end of which controllers are typically meant to fulfill, yet it's still safe to say that the buffs made Viper much more impactful than before. Yet the Sentinels' debut of Viper and Astra unbind in the grand finals against C9 was a testament to how those two controllers could really work together to maximize each other's potential. Because Astra is so much utility in smokes and crowd control, she could easily take over the role of any controller and provide much more mind games and pressure with her stars. Meanwhile, Viper was able to use her offensive capabilities to section off certain parts of the map to take aggressive control without running into the limitations of her lacking abilities to adapt in the mid-round. While Astra and Viper paired together, the controller duo could take map control with an iron hand, while also having the ability to execute on another part of the map, creating a deadly combination of explosive pressure that could run a defending team's ability pool dry. By virtue of Astra being such a powerful controller agent that can do basically what Omen and Brimstone can but better, space was opened up for Viper's aggressive mixture to terrorize the enemy team. In fact, because Astra is so versatile, her abilities could be used to bait out the opponent's utility before Viper's abilities come in to seal the deal on a site, defense, or post plant. Having both of the controllers on a team together just opens up a world of opportunities and mind games to the likes of which have yet to be seen in Valorant. And this leads us to our question of the day. What do you think is the possibility of a double controller meta? If you think it's coming, what do you think is the biggest factor that would contribute it to it becoming a reality? I think the biggest factor of what makes double controller meta a real possibility is the state of Astra and how she just creates so many options for her teammates. There's just so much that she can do for a team that experimentation will always be viable with her. If Riot at some point decides that she's too strong and takes away some of her power, I could definitely see the double controller meta slowing down. Yet I think there's a bigger reason for why the double controller meta is inevitable, which we'll still cover later in this video. But let me know yours in the comments down below. I love to see the discussion and potentially shifting my mind. But like I said, there's more to our argument. So far, we've only seen the double controller composition used on Bind, where sites have many angles of attack and defense, which makes smokes and walls much more valuable. However, with the new map Breeze making a debut in the upcoming big tournaments, I could see a world where the expansive and large nature of the map could see double controllers used for necessity rather than just synergy. Due to the wide open angles of mid and bomb sites, Viper's wall will take center stage in how control is taken on this map, because simply put, smokes won't cover enough space. But as we've stated before, Viper's utility is not very versatile once placed, and site takes could require a lot more utility to keep control. Additionally, having Viper and another controller together could open up room for Viper to use her toxin screen to take mid control effectively, allowing for powerful splits on bomb sites that are too open to be able to hold an attack from multiple angles. Or Viper's toxin screen could be saved for the site take, while the controller support would secure the pathway to the site. With this unique map playstyle that could see ops being fielded at increased rates and large areas of space where it's no man's land, smokes and walls will be imperative to even make it to the site alive. As such, I think that Breeze's introduction to the map pool will only serve to enforce a playstyle that focuses on drawn-out map control with a lot of potential for lurking and site wars rather than the conventional take and retake situations that we currently see with the smaller maps. When it comes to a war of attrition, having as much ammo as possible is crucial to victory, and double controllers might just be the adaptation needed to survive the beaches of Breeze. But of course, these are more or less the current state of Valorant, which may bring about a double controller meta. If these situations were not here, we might not even be having this discussion in the first place. Yet, I think that even if we were to live in a world where Viper wasn't buffed, and Astra didn't have as much versatility, and also Breeze wasn't released, I think there is an underlying reason that has followed every competitive metagame's evolution, which is the growth of the players within the scene. Even though ancient changes may come and go throughout the years, the players who engage in the game will all improve steadily as the lifetime of Valorant progresses. As people improve in tactical shooters, new emergent strategies will arise and some old views of the game will be replaced by newer and greater insights on how the game is played. As such, strategies will evolve to maximize their abilities' potential while also having a heightened understanding of the what-ifs in each game plan and the proper adaptations to situations. Let's use chess as an example. That's a game that for hundreds of years saw the same chessboard and same pieces go through millions of variations as to how the game was approached and played. Only up until this century were we able to use AI to solve chess, but most likely until the end of time, we won't have players who can replicate that level of gameplay. However, we can safely say that the best chess players today were better than the best back then. That's because the metagame evolved over hundreds of years to reach where it's at today. Another example is Counter-Strike, which has been notorious for never having any developer updates and balances. Throughout the years, we've seen eras of different pro teams reach the apex with a style that was innovative and meta-breaking. NIP learned the game faster than anyone else. Virtus Pro plowed sites like no other teams. Fnatic utilized their wildcard offer to destroy setups. SK Gaming took a previously underrated game to a world level, and Astralis took teamwork to the maximum. Although there were no changes to the game's rules or mechanics, players in the competitive scene constantly reinvented themselves and their strategies to bring about the eventual strategic brilliance of teams like Astralis that methodically picked apart even the best teams in the world, not through aim alone, but with utility insight on the levels of chess grandmasters. As players continue to grow and assimilate to Valorant's rules and mechanics as a whole, many new strategies will arise, and people will continually reinvent uses to existing utility. Yet when considering the absolute skill ceiling of the game, it's hard to make a justification against controller agents having the highest potential. When everyone's exceptionally skilled with utility and the game starts to take on strategic undertones similar to that of chess, controller agents are just that good. Eventually, we'll reach a point where pros are masters of not only aim, but mind games and strategy that could produce the next Astralis of Valorant. I have high hopes for the future of players and Riot alike to continue to grow the competitive scene. So keep on finding those wall boost sage mains and keep on searching for those crazy Sova double shocks, because maybe at some point those will become the meta. I can't wait to witness the matches where we can see awe-inspiring levels of mechanical skill combined with innovative strategies. And as we strive to reach that perfect endgame, I think the controllers will inevitably be in the driver's seat for leading us to the promised land. So that's why we definitively think the double controller meta is coming without a doubt. But above all the theoretics about a radiant future for Valorant, I think that the pieces are already set in place for this meta shift. In fact, Fnatic also fielded a double controller composition of Viper and Brimstone on Bind against Team Liquid in Europe during the same event, indicating that the meta seems to be developing in a similar direction for both the powerhouse regions. With the new map arriving in Pro Play soon, I'm really excited to see how the meta of Valorant develops even further. So what does everyone here think? Have we convinced you that the 2-controller meta is on its way to Valorant? If so, hop aboard the double controller train, and if not, hopefully we'll see you at the next stop. Regardless of whether we're right or wrong though, the future of the Valorant scene seems to be in good hands, and I'm sure that no matter how it turns out, there will always be some awesome developments to spice up our expectations. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, always make sure that you like the video, sub to the channel, comment down below to help us in the algorithm, and also ring that notification bell so that you remain on top of the meta with the latest Valorant news, updates, and guides. As always, I'm Kangas, best of luck in the grind everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.